know what you want. You want to see the movie.
It's hard for me because I'm just in Mortal Kombat mode and I just want to talk about the new movie and who everybody likes, and just because that's where my head's at.
Because you fell asleep and you dreamt about Mortal Kombat.
I dreamt about Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Wait, there's a new Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Mortal Kombat 3 or is it Mortal Kombat Reboot?
No, it's an animated movie.
No, there is the animated movie. They're also doing a live-action reboot produced by James Wan.
Oh, right.
Okay,
I heard about that.
okay.
Yeah, it's like hard R, and it has accurate racial casting, and they're going to do fatalities and all that shit.
Who's directing it?
Fuck, I don't remember. I should have looked it up. But I don't remember. I know Wan is producing it. But it looks good. My only complaint so far, no Johnny Cage. And there should be a Johnny Cage.
Wait, there's no Johnny Cage?
Not in the new one. They haven't announced it yet.
How is there no Johnny Cage?
I know, right?
That's like saying...
Is there a Goro?
Well, of course there's a...
I don't even know if Goro's in it. I know Shao Kahn is in it.
Okay. But what about Shang Tsung?
He should be as well.
Listen, we all know that no one goes to Mortal Kombat for any of these other characters. They go to Mortal Kombat for Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Fuck you.
And Reptile.
Baraka, bro.
And Reptile. Or the later ninjas. The later ninjas. Smoke in, what was it, Rain? Rain was...
Ermac, Noob Sabat.
Well,
there's a whole bunch of them.
Cyrax. Okay.
Cyrax and Sector, the robots.
Okay, well, you're combining robots with ninjas, which are different.
They're actually robot ninjas, so they are the same, friend. Yes.
I'm right.
No, they are not the same. They're not the same. What?
They are the Lin Kuei. They're ninjas. They're robotic ninjas.
One of them has a stomach that opens, that shoots out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Mumbly Joe.
That's what? Did you say Mumbly Joe?
If there was a what is that guy's fatality like? He mumbles until all his teeth fall out, and then you trip on him like you're in a fucking Rube Goldberg machine.
Man, fuck RoboCop DLC and Terminator DLC. I want a Mumbly Joe DLC, just like a homeless guy. I was in the war.
His fatality is screaming at the sky.
Yeah, until you shoot yourself.
That's great. I want to see that now.
Yeah. I'm so glad Nick showed up to do this and then decided he just wanted to talk about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's all I want to do now. Always.
Spelled with a K.
Well,
everything that is spelled with a C is a K. And Megan was making fun of that earlier.
What?
She's like, I can't get over the kid corner spelling of everything.
Well, that's how you know it's cool.
All the S's are Z's.
Yeah, that's what I said. K's and Z's, bro.
That's how you know. So yeah, instead of twisted, it's twisted. Am I right? That's a Juggalo reference.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
It is. I'm part of the fam.
What fam is that? Yeah, right.
The Juggalo fam.
Oh, okay. Wow. What doesn't have a K or an S in it, Nick?
What? What doesn't? What are you talking about?
How high are you right now?
I'm not, actually. I'm stone cold, unfortunately.
I thought you were.
What the fuck was that?
Anthony's insert lightsaber noise.
So This is stupid. Good. And today, when it comes to stupid things, you know who could produce this little get together we're having right now? A little place called Dumb Films, because you know what other movie they produced? A little movie called 1993's Body Melt.
Yay!
That is not the music for Body Melt, Nick.
No, I was just like melting, a melting guitar riff, like.
You mean like a face melting solo?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me explain to you what the music sounds like in body melt.
And this guy's quietly sneaking.
Yeah. It's a very stealthy scene with.
Listen, that's called building tension, and we could all learn a little bit of. Fuck you,
Building atmosphere with the Nintendo score.
Well, okay. I mean, I think everybody was using those Moog synthesizers back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so, Nick, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready to take your vitamins?
My vitamins?
Your vitamins?
For sure. Because I always, whenever I find a packet of powder in my mailbox, I instantly put it into a drink and just down that shit.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. All those people who had seeds delivered to their mailboxes, they should have just put them in their tea.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Shit.
Strangers are there
Body
to
melt
help
reboot. IRL.
How else am I supposed to get my daily dose of powder?
It doesn't help that it's just fucking neon green.
Yeah. It was funny because, I guess jumping ahead a little bit, when Brandon was live texting us as he's watching, he's like, Lady Reanimator, and I thought the same shit when that scene happened.
Yeah, right. All right. So, welcome back to the world's most confusing, not consistent podcast. And what are we
Real inconsistent.
Oh shit, that guy's shooting that machine gun.
No, dude. That was like a heavy thumping goth bass beat. You know what? Now that I've said it and then I said it again, that doesn't sound anything like that.
No.
Fuck you.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. It's more like a Pantera, like.
No, Nick, a Pantera would be wow, doo-doo. Anyway, this is not.
That is Pantera.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Welcome back to Pantera Talk.
No.
Today we're talking Far Beyond Driven.
Hey, that's a good ass metal album. No, my name. No.
All three of us go, yeah, it is. End of episode. First episode of the Pantera cast.
Yeah. You know that song Strength Beyond Strength? It's fucking great. Over. 10 out of 10.
Done.
Where do you see? What else more do you want from me? It was probably on 120 Minutes and Headbangers Ball.
That episode shoots up the SoundCloud ratings.
Ooh,
Number one in music.
Yeah, this is our shut up. This is our Anchor ad.
Anchor ad?
Yeah,
Anchor ad?
that's the ad you do when you want to be on like cross platforms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, kids,
I didn't even
listen
know
to Pantera.
Yeah, yes. Listen to that 1990s metal album Pantera. Wait, no. Far Beyond Driven. All right.
I'm not a poser, I swear.
Just bring it back. Welcome back to the world's most inconsistent podcast, Real Obscure. I'm Anthony Trevino.
I'm Brandon Talking Pie Freeze.
As always, freshly baked out of the oven.
Freshly baked.
Freshly baked. Double entendre. I'm Nick Rock Candy Mountain. I can use that one because the other episode I used it on isn't a thing. We have like 3 lost episodes now.
We do.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, we're building a mythos.
15 years from now, when we need to do a Patreon, we'll say these are from
releasing
the vault.
this content.
Yeah.
The lost episode vault.
Pay us to listen to our garbage.
Our old garbage.
Hey, anybody want to donate $1 and I'll rant over this new metal album for 20 minutes? What you don't understand about Korn's Life is Peachy or Limp Bizkit's hit album Significant Other. He didn't even review the album. He just did Fred Durst scatting.
And he just kept saying, what you don't understand is over and over.
I'll do some ketamine and tell you why Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables by Dead Kennedys is the greatest album of all time.
Yeah, followed up by Guar's America Must Be Destroyed, although I agree that is one of the greatest metal albums of all time. And tonight, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Yeah. We're talking about Philip Brophy's 1993 film, Body Melt. Now, listen, I don't know how I got this far in life to not see a movie that came out in 1993 where the entire premise is a drug makes people melt. And I put melt in air quotes because I don't know if they necessarily... Sometimes? Yeah, melt, kind of?
Horribly deforms them to death.
Yes. That's actually a pretty accurate description. Deforms them to death.
Yeah, pretty much. And so we're going to do a little bit of film background. So for those of you that get bored, wait. Edit this out. Yeah. Fuck!
Bust out
for those of you that get bored.
I should not have.
For those of you that like being bored, I guess that's why you're listening to us.
Anyway. All right, we're going to do a little bit of film history on Body Melt. As I said at the top, it was directed by Philip Brophy, co-written with Rod Bishop, produced by the Australian Film Commission and Film Victoria, and released theatrically in 1993. Now, what's kind of interesting, you guys, is this is the same film company that put out Romper Stomper, which I thought was interesting because what they talk about in the special features interview with Brophy and Bishop is that this is kind of the first of its kind for the Australian cinema. And maybe it's just my lack of understanding of Australian cinema, but 1993 seems like well beyond the time people are making insane experimental films.
Yeah, and splatter films and stuff like that. That shit kind of started in the 70s, so Australia was just kind of behind the curve, I guess.
They always are.
I did want to jump in on that with the Australian Film Commission producing it, because I hear about that, the Australian Film Commission produced this, and the New Zealand Film Commission produced Bad Taste. Do we have something like that? Like a U.S. Film Commission? And if we did, would they produce movies like Body Melt and Bad Taste, or would they be producing, The Piano and shit? It just seems like a weird thing that these other countries have their government funding splatter films, and we don't? Isn't that weird?
I am not sure, Brandon.
I don't know.
Yeah, see?
Unanimously.
And the three
no one knows.
Woo! The three of us would know if we did, I think.
I don't think we do. I think unlike a lot of other places, and the internet can correct me if I'm wrong, unlike a lot of other places, the United States kind of has that hub of Hollywood and Los Angeles, which is just its own little ecosystem.
We commercialized it too much
of film production companies. Where could you imagine if the U.S. government tried to just sit here and commission films? What would those movies be?
Right?
It'd all be like fucking American Sniper.
Wouldn't be fucking Body Melt. I guarantee
it would not be Body Melt. It would not be Body Melt.
They're not producing that.
Or Pig.
Ugh. I don't know about Pig. I don't know about most of those movies, but that's an off-air discussion.
Yeah. So in the short answer to your question, Nick, neither of us know.
Yeah.
We are.
Good question.
It's a good question. Someone else do that research.
I get the good question award for the episode.
A little bit of background on Brophy. His previous work was the surreal short film Salt, Saliva, Sperm, and Sweat, which I tried to find and couldn't find an actual version of. There's a music video that somebody cut to an Asphyxiation song, and Asphyxiation is a Brophy band because he's also super into music. But I tried to find it as a whole, and I couldn't find it. Were either of you able to catch a copy of it on YouTube or anything?
Mm-hmm.
No, I couldn't find anything. I mean, I looked it up on IMDb, and I read up on it a little bit, and the guy on the poster is the same one from this movie, right? The opening of this movie? Am I wrong?
No, the individual on the poster is Shan, the woman who works at Vivian.
The
Wait,
lady
on the sperm, salt, saliva, whatever?
Oh, sorry.
On that poster, I think it's the guy from the beginning of this movie, the one that wrecks his car and
Yeah.
everything.
Ryan.
the guy with the tape recorder.
Yeah.
The guy with the tape recorder. So, no, I don't know, Nick. This is an episode full of and I watched them. I watched all the special features.
I'm just here to talk about body melt.
it was that
Body Melt and Pantera.
It did that thing. It did that thing that a lot of DVDs do, where you start watching the special features and then you realize that they titled almost the same special features something just slightly different than the one you previously watched, and you're like, this is like the same interview. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't double dip on the same interview.
And that's
This
a
isn't a
special
trauma
edition
disc.
Blu-ray, right?
No, it's a Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray.
Yeah, special edition Vinegar Syndrome, like remaster thing, and they're double dipping on the features.
Yeah, it was a little off-putting.
I expect better from a pseudo porn company.
Up front. Wow, Nick, compliment and then some shade.
That's how I do it, man.
You know, Vinegar Syndrome puts out some primo smut.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. And it's weird because they do like cool horror flicks and then smut. And that's about it.
So basically, their marketing is directed at us, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
More or
Okay.
less.
Yeah, more or less. Now, what the hell was that?
What was what? What happened?
Thought I
Nothing
heard
happened
something.
here.
Are you talking? Please tell me if you're talking about me.
Yeah, right?
I heard it.
We are in the Unfriended sequel.
Oh no, Nick! Wait. And then
yeah.
all right. Well, that
Good,
was a little bit of physical comedy for us.
There you go.
For the Real Obscure podcast.
Guess what that
It's
was?
always the
idiots?
best.
Post Body Melt, Brophy has continued to direct, write, and score a ton of short films, and he's written the books 100 Modern Soundtracks, 100 Anime, and The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Brophy is kind of the type of dude that doesn't give a shit about whether or not you like his films. I would venture to guess that he doesn't even care that if you like his music. He is a total artist type. And when I was listening to go ahead.
I was just going to agree with you. He totally seems like that kind of guy where he.
I can
like,
respect that.
I'm gonna-
Like looking at this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and you go like it or you don't. I don't care.
And we'll get more into it in a bit, but he, I guess, was reading some film criticism of it, and the reviewer said something akin to like, well, maybe if this movie could find a central plot to focus on, it would be better. And he was like, fuck you. If you don't get it and what I'm doing and you don't like it, I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Yeah, if anyone who's like analyzing this movie for like seriousness and anything like that is watching it wrong.
Right. This needs more of a centralized plot. It's like it doesn't.
Yeah,
It really
doesn't.
It
If you
really
don't want
doesn't.
it, then go away.
No, because
Go watch fucking anything else.
Well, I mean, you turn on Body Melt. It's not the Da Vinci Code. Huh.
Yeah.
Pinnacle of Cinema, the Da Vinci Code.
Well, I mean, think about it, right? The Da Vinci Code is the equivalent of like your Potboiler summer book read, right? It's on
Yeah.
all the airport racks. Body Melt
Super
is like,
straightforward narrative that's just like point A to point B to point C.
Body Melt is like
That's-
the zine you find in someone's trash, and you're like, who threw this out?
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Keeps
Yeah.
you guessing.
Well, that's one way to put it. So, I don't know much about Australian cinema, as we kind of figured out now. But this film stars Ian Smith as Dr. Carrera, Regina Gaigalas as Sean, Vincent Gill as Pud, most known for Mad Max, Neil Foley as Anthea Davis as Slab, and Andrew Dotto as Jono. Now, I grabbed what I thought were the more central characters. There's movies full of character actors, and I'm sorry if I left you out, but I just was too fucking lazy to do all of them.
Sorry, Body Melt cast that is gathered around their radios listening to us.
Oh, you make that joke, but so many of these actors' IMDb pages are most known for Body Melt.
Body Melt, the old gray silhouette graveyard.
Well, I don't know. I'd call it the gray silhouette graveyard. Jeez, Nick.
What? No, I'm just saying that's what it was in Redneck Zombies too. It was just that the upper torso gray body with a name and no picture.
Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Bob McCarran. We know you listen, and if you don't know who Bob McCarran is, he did the effects for Dead Alive, which are obviously stupendous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can see the similarities between that Dead Alive and Body Melt.
Very foamy,
at least in the physical effects. Very foamy, yeah.
Very, very foamy. All right, well, are you guys ready to get into it? Are you guys ready to discuss Body Melt?
Let's do it.
I'm strapped in.
Let's do it. All right, if we all drank our Vimiaville Monster energy drinks.
I'm feeling good.
Halfway through, Brandon's
What's
face
the
melts
first
off.
stage? Hallucinogenic?
Oh, don't worry. I
I'm
got
up
you.
for that stage.
I got you, Nick. The first phase is hallucinogenic. The second phase is glandular. And the third phase is what, Brandon?
Death.
I mean, fair.
Body
fair.
melt?
The third phase is... Because he never gets to the third phase.
Yeah. I think it is essentially body melt.
Yeah.
But that first stage sounds pretty cool.
I'm all for the first stage.
The first
man.
stage sounds
I'm
great.
here
And
for
then when your neck starts to split open and shoot out little tentacle cables, maybe we go to the hospital. Or drink a bottle of dish soap.
Yay.
Okay. Are we going? Because I have a lot to say about the dish soap.
All right, we're going. Body
Well,
Melt.
maybe not a lot.
Body Melt, 1993. We open on the Vimiaville kind of commercial ad, right? And it reminds everybody of those infomercials we used to watch growing up.
Mhm.
You know, it's 2 a.m. Hi, my name is Sally so-and-so. And have you ever wanted to lose weight and stop looking like such a fat pig? Well, now you can with Vimiaville. Because that's what it's all based on, is weight loss. Their entire company's kind of plan is creating a weight loss drug.
Technically, they did.
I mean, yes.
they do lose weight.
Yes,
Yeah,
but we'll get to it. But they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared to fuck with the little man. And then the little man came back, fucked them.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll get to it.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, quick question. How much have you had to drink?
Fuck you.
Is that what it is? Was that
What?
wine you were drinking or juice?
It was wine. Why? What's going on?
Okay. Yep. No, nothing.
Nah, you got a good glow about you.
You are glowing.
Am I stumbling too much? Is that it?
No, you just got a glow and energy.
You just got a glow.
You have an exuberance.
Go. Okay. You know what? I was a little nervous, and then I thought about drinking an energy drink, and then I thought, I'm going to be too on if I do that. So I was trying to split the difference. And now I've got a glow. Cool. From the infomercial, we cut to what I essentially have now dubbed the Reanimator Tanning Salon, although later you'll find out that that's actually just a room in the Vimiaville office building.
Mm-hmm.
Where Shauna...
It kind of looked like Reanimator found Caligari.
Mm-hmm.
It was like neon and lots of angles.
Yeah. It's neon. It's lots of angles. It's a lot of the ooch, 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 ooch music. And you kind of get the impression that maybe Brophy has probably made a ton of music videos, I would imagine, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She injects Ryan. he goes back, and then she gets on the phone and she's talking to somebody who we don't know who it is yet, but we'll find out later. And she says, "Oh, well, somebody's trying to be a little too ethical with our drugs, and we can't have that." So she gives him what's essentially like a triple dose of the Vimiaville juice.
Yeah, it's like it's way too much. She wants him dead.
Gives him that super concentrated, melty juice.
Speedball.
Well, yeah. So she basically drugs him because he is questioning the ethics of the company, and we'll find out when he sits down shirtless at his office. Because isn't that what you do at your office, Brandon? When you're working late and after you've shot up some Vimiaville, you just sit down and you're like, "All right, time to work shirtless."
Oh yeah, I just work shirtless and I just sit there and really take in the scenery. It's really a power move to sit shirtless in your office.
Yeah, I mean, truly, if somebody walks in, they're not going to tell you what to do. You're the boss. You're shirtless.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I work shirtless all the time, and the managers are like, "Dude, you gotta." Customers are complaining. I'm like, I don't care.
You have got,
brother.
You have got to put a shirt on. You look like Sasquatch in the middle of detox. Put a shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is
bald Sasquatch in the middle of detox.
just sweating on everything.
All you got to do is say, "I'd like to see you try. Come on, Jack. I'd like to see you put a shirt on. Bring the thunder."
You want me to wear a shirt? Not this cowboy.
Oh, there you go. Boom. Nick, not this cowboy rock. He's like, wow, Nick came into work today and he will not stop fucking saying, "Not this cowboy." Oh, you want me to
not
take
this cowboy.
You want me to take this pallet of water bottles up over there to that shelf? Not this cowboy.
Not
How about
this cowboy.
this? What does this cowboy do then?
Stand around shirtless, but I still wear the vest because it's like dress code.
Right.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd be arrested.
Yeah, shirtless
And
with
fired.
the vest. So.
And fired. No, the best
And
makes
fired.
sure everybody knows
Not
that
this
you're-
cowboy. They're not firing this cowboy.
So Ryan sits down at his computer and he opens up a file, and it takes us to this bitchin' 80s as fuck program that says, it's basically showing the people of Pebbles Court, which is who they're sending all these different packages of Vimiaville to.
Yeah, like sample packs.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved this. The computer thing might be one of my favorite parts because there were games I used to play back in the day around like 93, 94. There was one called like Design It 3D where all you do is build a house.
You build a house and you ship them drugs till they die.
You put furniture in it, and the graphics were just as shitty as in this movie, and it's like, what's the point of this? This isn't a game. This can't be an actual tool for like designing a house because it just looks like 2D planes of nothing. I played that.
It was made just for that purpose, so you would ask that question.
What
is this?
And I played the shit out of it. I used to design all these houses. It was great.
I designed all these houses, and then I moved the sofa in front of the front door, in the back door, and then I set the house on fire.
And I just designed.
That's what I did when I was playing The Sims.
Oh, yeah, you gotta
That's a whole other thing.
You guys want to know a fun fact? I've never played The Sims once in my entire life.
You're fine.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. I mean, as a kid, it was kind of interesting, but
Because you could set wall people up.
Mm-hmm.
right, or you'd take the ladder out of the pool while they were swimming and just watch them go in circles until they dropped.
They're cursed to swim forever.
And then they just, until they become emaciated and float to the top of the pool.
Yeah, and then you get a little tombstone you can put in the yard.
Oh my god.
I used to have a whole cemetery behind the house.
Mm-hmm.
So the importance of this video is that it kind of breaks down the segments that come later. You have the Noble family, and it says videotape. And next to Cheryl and Brian Reed, positive pregnancy. As opposed to like a negative pregnancy, I guess. Sal, Sisone, and Gino who, Brandon?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, Gino Argento.
Gino Argento.
They really made. They really didn't do themselves a service by not naming him like Sal Bava.
Oh man.
It should have been the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sal Bava and Gino Argento.
And
Bang
next to-
boom.
I mean, they act like it,
Hey.
and they pay for it dearly. Well, one of them does. The other one we just never see again.
You'd never
Oh,
see
that's
again.
right.
Yeah.
We never
So-
see
Nope.
Gino.
Hey! Oh God, Andrew
Get some
Dice.
Vegemite over here.
Andrew Dice Clay in the remake of Body Melt.
Oh, I'm melting.
And-
Hickory dock. That's stupid.
Dickory Dock. I got hit in the cock. You know what? Scratch that. That's bad.
Hickory dock.
This powder melt off my cock.
There we go.
There we go. All
That
right.
was it.
All right. There we
That
go.
was it. We all knew where we were
Well, it
going.
would
Anthony
make
and I
it-
built half
We
the
knew
bridge.
the rhyme was cock. It was
Yeah.
just how to get there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Anthony and I built half the bridge, and Nick jumped over and finished the rest of it.
On a motorcycle, dressed as Evil Knievel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We get it. It's
We
important
get
to note. It's important to note though that next to their names it says sperm donations because they later on in the film think that they're going to like a health farm where there's all these chicks and they're all gonna donate that jism.
They're gonna get some.
I mean that's what it amounts to, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last and most unfortunate of these people is one Paul Matthews, and his little thing next to his name is vitamin intake. Poor Paul Matthews. Poor stupid asshole
Yeah.
Paul Matthews.
Yeah.
Stupid
Dumb
asshole.
son of a bitch.
We cut to Ryan leaving his office. Now I have a question for you guys because I wasn't sure if this is even possible. Well, two questions actually. He leaves the office, but Brandon and Nick, we've all worked in office jobs. Why would you scan your Prox card after you leave the building? To lock it, I guess?
To lock it or to
Yeah, maybe.
clock that you are leaving the building.
Oh, that might be it.
Mine always, I just used it when I went in. I never used it after I was outside already.
Yeah, I've never
Mhm.
never had to do that either, but I've never worked scary.
But it's Australia. Everything's backwards.
Yeah, everything's
so-
backwards. You scan when you're outside. You sleep on the ceiling.
The toilets flush the wrong way. It's just madness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, God. Do you guys want to hear a work bathroom horror story that has no relevance to body melt other than being terrifying?
I feel like it might.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it might have more in common with body melt than I'm giving it credit.
There I was at work in the stall, dropping the two, right?
Mhm.
I go to clean up and because I courtesy flush before I clean up, but someone before me had preloaded that pipe because I didn't realize that I had flushed and all the water came back and I dunked my hand in the water.
Oh,
And I
God almighty.
It was like, as Brandon knows, the horror that I felt inside.
Oh, I
was
know
akin-
too, man.
Was
You are
akin to
literally
losing
the
a
worst
child.
person. You're the worst person that could happen to.
I was like, what do I do now? Cut my hand off?
Yeah.
I know part of your brain died as soon as you
It did,
felt that
it
water.
did.
You were
Part of
like,
my
"Oh,
brain-
great, I'm dead now."
Your
I'm
brain
already
registered. Your brain registered it as trauma, and you just don't acknowledge it happens.
Yep.
Nope. Nope.
You just go. You walk out of the bathroom into the office with a wet hand.
No,
You're like,
can't.
what? Nothing.
Well, I couldn't do anything with it, so I walked out of the office. I went to my car. I drove to Home Depot. I bought a hacksaw, and I sawed my own hand off because I couldn't move forward in life knowing that my hand had been in a bowl of human waste stew.
That wasn't even yours.
That wasn't even
Oh
mine.
God, that does make it worse somehow.
Well, yeah, of course it makes it worse. And then I was like, I'm not
I
looking.
mean, it's
I'm
all
not looking back
dues.
there.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's yours. It's still dues.
It kind of matters though.
I was like, I'm not looking.
Yes, it
I'm not
does.
looking. And my brain said, well, maybe it's just water. And then my other half of my brain said, well, no, you got to look now. You got to confirm if your hand is a wrist deep in doo-doo water. And then I looked back and it was
Wait,
so orange.
Hold on, everyone, shut up.
Did you
It
just say
was
orange?
wrist deep?
Hold on. Address both of those questions.
Okay, Brandon
Did you
first.
say wrist deep, and did you say orange?
More like iodine.
Continue.
Okay, more like iodine, and yes. And Brandon?
Not good.
Brandon, what was your question first?
My question was wrist deep, because if you were wrist deep in toilet water, we got to talk about your wiping method, pal.
Or your reaction time at the very least.
No, you dickhead. What had happened is the water had come so close to the bowl that I could feel it, like, to the top, that I was like, that feels weird. Like, is there water? Like, am I sitting almost in a puddle? And then I went, bloop, no!
So please confirm that it was wrist deep.
Yes, it was. Because it was too close to the top. It was
my
so
God.
close.
You know what's even better? The coloring is horrifying.
Yeah.
Saying that it's akin to iodine.
Well, because it was shit
What's
water,
even
Nick.
worse is
That's
you will
what it
never
was.
know why.
It was shit
Never
water
know.
because what happened is I'm sure some dickhead from accounting waltzed his ass in there, dropped a deuce, and then was just stuffing fucking toilet paper down there, and they just flushed once, and they're like, oh, it's fine. But it wasn't fine, because that shit was preloaded, and it was like,
but you were saying it's shit water, but not all shit water is iodine colored.
Well, it's brown, it's doo-doo water, it's doo-doo water!
Doo-doo water! Doo-doo water! Ah, doo-doo water!
And that was, oh my god, Nick Nolte trying to go to the bathroom. I bet that's a horrific
runs
sight
out.
now.
I got shit on my hand!
But he hasn't pulled his pants all the way up. So with one hand, he's trying to pull his pants up. And then the other hand, he's just trying to keep away from himself. But he's just getting doo-doo water all over everything.
You see some Nolte neck?
No, with his other hand, he's trying to fish his flask out of the bowl that he dropped into it.
Well,
I guarantee he's drinking on that toilet.
My hooch!
Yeah. That's the good stuff. Anyway.
Anyway,
Back to
what are we talking about? Dracula?
What are we talking about? Dracula. Future episode. Dracula 2000. No, not.
Oh.
Oh, God. Anyway. So Ryan burns his ID card, and I don't know if that... Can you even do that? Like... It, like, starts to
do
melt.
What?
Like, he burns like, his actual ID card, but it looks... I'm like, it's... laminate, I guess. I don't know. I've just never thought about burning my ID
it's in Australia. It's in Australia. Their IDs are made out of crackers, so they burn pretty easily.
I did want to mention that.
All right, there was the first incidence of racism. Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know. We were throwing out Vegemite and saying their whole country was backwards, but
in the group chat.
No, in here, like 2 minutes ago.
I said they slept on the ceiling.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. When he starts melting the ID, I noticed that it starts melting, but particularly the eye, like, gets big and creates a bubble. Like, was that deliberate? Did they, like, set it up a certain way that it would melt with the eye getting big? Because if not, they got lucky.
Yeah, it's either they planned it that way, or they're like, hey, that worked out really well.
And done in one. Let's pack it up.
For one, from here, it's the next day, because he's leaving the office late at night. The next day, we're introduced to Paul Matthews, who takes the vitamin packet out of his mailbox and across the street. And the ultimate cool guy car are Gino and Sal. And they come out, and they come out and they do some neighbor banter. And they're like, what do you know about the ladies, Paul? You're 30. And I'm thinking, this dude playing Sal's like 37.
Yeah. And the dude playing Matthews or whatever, he's not 30. Like, he's older than that.
That dude's like in his 40s.
These Australians live hard lives, you guys.
That's true.
Much older. Have you
the
seen
outback
those giant
weathers
spiders?
you?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to cross the outback every day just to get to the grocery store or whatever.
Fight off giant spiders and kangaroos.
You gotta kill a kangaroo and eat its adrenal glands to level up. Yeah, we get it. That's a normal thing to do. Smash
life.
So now we're back to Ryan, and he's driving around, and he's trying to get to Holmesville, Pebbles Court, right? He pulls into this gas station, and he's looking like shit. He's looking real bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into the gas station, and I don't know what happened, what transpired between getting to the gas station and getting inside to the gas station, because he goes from looking like shit to looking like a real shit.
A lot
Looking
happened.
like he just dunked his hand in a toilet
Yeah,
bowl. It was
exactly.
full of shit.
This whole movie, yeah, the whole thing's a metaphor for me putting my hand in that shitty water. He goes up to the counter and the guy on the other side is like, "What the fuck is this? What do you want? Do you want?" Oh,
Anthony,
sorry.
please do the.
I'm just sorry.
Hello.
No, I'm not. That's no north. This is a north.
No. Nope.
That was your warm-up line?
You don't got it. You don't got
I
it.
had to get into character.
You want Petru? And what does he say?
That's good. Petro.
You want Petro?
Detergent.
No, I think he says detergent.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, it's in the bag, eh?"
There we go.
All right, good.
I'm back. Yeah. He goes to the back, and
And apparently he thinks detergent is Australian for beer.
Well, see, Nick's got it. But here's the interesting thing. Why would he know that there were ingredients in detergent that could slow the effects? Because he reads.
Is that what it is?
Well,
Because I don't know why the fuck he drank the detergent, because they never explain it.
Well, they don't
They
explain
never
a lot.
say why he drank it.
No, but
Because he walks in and immediately goes detergent, and then he goes and starts drinking it. And I'm like, they're going to explain later why he was drinking this detergent.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet Nick. Sweet Nick. You were
Nope.
expecting too much.
Yes.
So he drinks the detergent, runs. This is kind of an endearing moment for me because he tries to pay for it, and it's sad as shit. He's like holding his card out to pay for the detergent he just drank, and the look on his face is just of utter horror. And I felt for him in that moment. This movie called Body Melt, not Body Malt, different movie.
Body malt.
Body Malt, different movie.
Kind of made me feel a little sad for this character. And I'm going to give this movie credit. Because in a lot of movies like this, you could just be like, oh, God, just get to the body melting.
Just get to the excessive gore, please.
He peels out of the parking lot, and the gas station attendant yells, "What at him, Nick?"
Oh, doesn't he say fucking pill poppers?
Go on. And then he says,
Oh, I don't remember. Fucking...
"Why don't you get some sleep?" That's not good.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Fucking pill poppers. Why don't you get some sleep?
Yeah, there you go. Bam! Dunked on. No good night's sleep is going to change what's happening to this guy, my friend.
Nope. Nope.
And then this is where he's driving around. He's hauling ass to Pebbles Court. He's got his little tape recorder out, and he says, "The first phase is hallucinogenic," which is pretty cool. "The second phase is glandular. And the second phase is what?"
Yeah, not so cool. Depending on what it does with your glands. I don't know what it does to your glands.
Yeah.
He just says glandular. He does not specify.
That's true.
I would assume that he means, like, when it opens his throat up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the third phase
Your glands revolt against your body.
pretty much, because the third phase is just incomprehensible screaming
Lots of gargling.
and a lot of gargling. So he's hauling ass to Pebbles Court. The cops find him and they're chasing him. And then when he gets to Pebbles Court, he smashes into this van, flies through the windshield, lands on the hood of his car. Now there are these little puffy white cables flopping around everywhere.
Like the Thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Thing.
Like Ash from Alien when he
Yeah.
Oh, when he mops out.
when he freaks out and he's got the milk shooting out of him.
Mm-hmm. That's
Like that.
exactly what it's like. And I gotta say, guys, that sailing through the windshield is pretty good.
Yeah.
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 It was pretty great.
Well executed.
This movie is full of great effects.
Yeah.
Most of the neighborhood runs out, even though they don't. Here's the thing: them and the cops all show up on scene. But the people in Pebbles Court are kind of like, oh, hey, that's weird. And the cops are like, hey, best we can get him for speeding, nah? And they acknowledge that it's weird, but they don't... This dude's throat looks like it got slit open twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there was nobody else in the car. Yeah. Yeah, I think if somebody crashed their car in front of my house and their throat was, like, sliced to ribbons and there was nobody in the car with him, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? This is an episode of The X-Files. This is a cold open to The X-Files.
Oh, man, Mulder and Scully go to People's Court.
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch
down
that.
under.
But you know what I'd watch
Down
more
under.
of is True Detective Body Melt, and just watch Woody
True
Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey play those same characters while investigating the body melt case. That
Well, you know, we're all melting at the same pace. Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
I love season 1 of True Detective, but Brandon, that encapsulates the entire season.
Yep.
Well, you know, Marty, we're all just dying and falling apart cellularly. This guy's just doing it faster and probably more efficiently than the rest of us. Could you just not be weird?
Yeah, hey, shut the fuck up.
Let's just do
Always great having you around.
Yeah.
He has no time for any of that.
Gino and Sal run over and they're like, do you need us to give a statement? Because I don't know if you forgot, and I don't know if the audience forgot, but we're cool guys.
No.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, dude,
Cool
chill.
guys.
We'll let you know if we need anything. They're like, okay, but we're not going to be here for much longer because we're going to that elf farm where we're going to,
The elf farm.
The elf farm where we're going to go donate. What does he say? He says, one of them starts saying, well, we're going to go donate some sperm. But the other guy says, no, we're doing something else. But I couldn't catch it.
He makes a cover story, which he doesn't really need to do because it's not illegal to donate sperm.
Right.
Or at least I don't know if it is in Australia. It's
Oh,
not here,
yeah.
But
Yeah,
they could have their backwards laws.
Yeah, that's kangaroo food. Can't waste kangaroo food.
I do want to say that I love watching Anthony trying to do like an Italian New York accent mixed with an Australian accent at the same time. It's really entertaining.
It's masterful.
Oh, I guess you just make fun of me, eh? Whatever.
Oh no! Now he's aware
of the
of
Cockney.
it. Now he's aware of it. It's not good anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize to do something good, I had to be completely oblivious to it.
Just in this case.
Oh, okay. Just in my authentic Australia. Nope.
Nope.
I'll get it.
Nope.
You know what?
In my authentic Australian accent, Mamma Mia.
Yeah, you know, before we got on, I was just standing in the mirror going, Fosters.
Hello.
And then my girlfriend said, yeah, I think we're done here. You can move out tomorrow.
You can leave now.
He's been in there for 5 hours. Fastest Fosters. Fastest Fosters.
This is a good time for the movie to check in with good old Paul Matthews, who's hanging out at an airport, as you do, right?
Uh-huh.
And they never explain what he was there for. We later find out that he works for a radio station, but so maybe he was picking up somebody he was supposed to interview, or he was there for something, but he's just kicking it at the airport. He hallucinates a bag lady, and then he doesn't meet Kate yet.
Well, it's also important.
Oh, yeah. He does hallucinate. I was thinking you were saying Kate was the bag lady, but there was a second. There was that first bag lady in the seats that just
and she
was there.
Yeah, and she gets hit with a God spotlight. Well, because it's the first phase. It's hallucinogenic, right? We get that scene. The next scene is Gino and Sal driving down the road, and they're doing, they're talking about what they're gonna do. Now, I have a very serious question for you guys. What the fuck is that thing hanging from the rearview mirror? Is it a tongue or a chili pepper?
I wasn't paying attention.
Great.
Do they have a tongue on their rearview mirror? I would imagine it's a chili pepper, because if it's a tongue, there's a whole other movie there.
Those Australians like their south of the border spice.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
aye.
Ay. Hi, Poppy.
And some of these scenes,
Definitely not Australian.
some of these filler scenes are irrelevant. We get it. They're going to what they think is a health farm so they can donate sperm to chicks. They're going to fuck. And listen, if you were trying to sign up for something that said, hey, come here and donate sperm with all these young, nubile ladies, you're going to get murdered. Or you're going to get kidnapped and forced into a cult. Because there is no thing in reality that's actually like that. I'm talking to you incels of the world. Nothing like that exists.
That's reality. It's not.
Stop being a dumbass and just know that you're going to probably get murdered. God.
You know what? It's fine. If it's incels, who cares?
Yeah, that's
then it's probably for the best.
Go. It's
You know what?
It's going to be great.
Yeah, you're right.
Real quick, in this scene when they're driving down the freeway, they have a windshield, right? Am I wrong?
Their windshield is actually smashed out.
Yeah, they're what do they call it? They call it a windscreen.
Well, no, that was one of my favorite things. When you sent the message going, ew, they say windscreen in Australia instead of windshield. And for some reason, that made me laugh really hard.
Yeah, the whole sudden I was plugging my nose and doing a thumbs down.
Brandon's car glass elitist.
I remember the scene of them driving on the freeway, and I would have sworn there was a windshield in there. And then the next scene is them pulling up to the gas station, and they have like the tarp across the front.
Yeah,
I didn't. Wait,
I don't remember
their windshield break. Yeah,
that's never explained. Guys, I've watched this movie 3 times, and it's never explained. It's just, now our windshield's broken. And I'm pretty sure that was Brophy being like, fuck it, whatever. We're loosely stringing together this main storyline to get to these body melt segments. Right. I just imagine he was like, listen, we're just here to do cool effects. No one cares about this other stuff, which is some of these filler scenes, I feel like.
So I think now is a decent time to point out that this was originally 4 short films that he was tying together.
He wanted to do 4 short films that focus on an aspect of kind of body horror and body melting. And they realized, well, we can't really market it this way as an anthology, so let's just tack on the detective storyline and go from there.
That's kind of like a through line for all of them.
Yeah, pretty much, which I think is why they set them all at people's court and everything.
Mm-hmm. And with that information, it really shows, you could really tell that that was the intention, because there's no real main character. It just kind of jumps from vignette to vignette with the through line of the detective.
There are a few very distinct stories, specific segments that seem like they were kind of self-isolated. Each house kind of seems like its own. Yeah, it's its story. Own little adventure into body horror.
Like Terror Tract.
Yeah, but without John Ritter.
Yeah.
God, that's a future episode. Terror Tract.
Terror Tract.
I don't know if I've seen Terror Tract.
Buff Bagwell gets killed by that monkey?
What?
No.
That sounds like a fucking Mad Lib.
In the same little vignette story, Bryan Cranston also gets killed by that monkey. Fuck that monkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that might be the next episode, because I don't know what this is, but I need to see it.
But what we're here to talk about today is body melt.
Yes. Let's get back on track.
Now let's start the episode.
And 5, 4. Paul meets this woman at the airport. She's scarred. She looks dehydrated. She kind of looks like a meth head. And she starts talking to him. They have this esoteric conversation. And she vanishes. And again, as we know, the first phase is hallucinogenic, right? So we're just kind of rolling with it. Smash cut to Gino and Sal needing a windscreen. So they pull off to this place that says, hey, we fix windscreens or windshields for all, you.
I was expecting Brandon to start spitting when you said windscreen.
I'm being good, but inside I am just full of rage.
And
right. I'm impressed with your restraint.
This is where we meet
Australians.
Pud, who fucking rules. And he's
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty great. I think this whole family is pretty great, to be perfectly honest.
well, Gino and Sal pull up, and he comes out, and he's like, "Ugh," he says something to the effect of, "God broke a windscreen, eh?" Yeah, not good. Again, not good. And he calls,
Yeah.
he calls for his kids, Bab and Bronto.
Yeah.
And this is where the movie it becomes, at least these parts of the movie are like Texas Chainsaw and Trouble Every Day smashed together.
Yeah, it's total like crazy white trash Australian hellbilly.
Yeah, and I'm expecting Dan Aykroyd to come out with, the fake dick nose, and there's going to be a roller coaster from hell.
Yeah. And that's it's not Trouble Every Day. I don't remember the actual name of that movie.
Which one?
The Dan Aykroyd movie.
Not Trouble Every Day. Nothing But Trouble.
No,
Did I say
Nothing But
Did
Trouble?
I say Trouble Every Day?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant sorry.
I understand.
Trouble Every Day is somebody talking about
I understand
me in my movie.
Oh no, Vincent Gallo.
I understand mistaking Vincent Gallo for a dick face, but
Pud tells them they can fix their windscreen. Bab and Bronto take Gino and Sal over to this, I guess it's kind of like a little restaurant, and that's where we meet Slab and what does she call the woman that takes their orders?
Oh, it's something like the bitch or something.
No, that's what Bronto calls Slab. Calls her dirt bitch.
That's right, yeah.
That's what I call Nick. My little dirt bitch.
Your little dirt bitch. All right. I'll take it.
Get that dirt bitch.
I don't remember. Get that dirt bitch, Leatherface. I don't remember any of these characters' names. The family, except for Pud.
And she yells, she asks them what they want for food. And I think they're like, "Oh, you got tea and toast?" And she's like, "We only have breakfast, lunch, and dinner." And then she slams down a plate of eggs and sausages, which I'll be honest, I'd eat those. And they don't look nearly as gross as the meat and necromantic.
The plate of food that she puts down looks a lot better than it has any business looking.
Yeah. And
I remember setting that down and being like, all right.
It's important to note she is into Gino.
Yes.
She is laying it on hard for Gino. Is it Sal?
Is she into Sal? Yeah.
The one who looks like Keanu Reeves?
Oh, no, that's Gino. But I thought you were talking about the one that she later hooks up with.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's Sal.
Paul Matthews wakes up in his office, his big fancy Rocks FM office. So I guess we're led to believe he's a kind of a DJ bigwig if you have a full-on leather couch in your office. And his assistant comes in and says, "Hey, you should go." Because
he's just oozing the charisma of a DJ too, by the way. Through this whole thing, he just screams DJ. Yeah,
that's all they have.
Charisma. Yeah, that's the only skill they have.
There's a reason that it's called a face for radio.
This guy's he just seems like white bread incarnate. So maybe he's like a behind the scenes
or
guy. I don't know. I don't imagine he's working the radio.
He's either the DJ for a boring right-wing talk radio AM station, or he's the DJ for adult contemporary jazz station.
That's valid.
Elevator music.
I could see him being a DJ for NPR.
Here's another hit from Larry and the White Velvet Slippers.
He calls Three Doors Down hard rock.
Right. Yeah. Alternative rock is too hard for him, and something like Guar would just drive him to suicide. Paul goes home, and Kate's in his house, and she says, I don't have the dialogue handy, but she's there. They have another kind of esoteric, not really important conversation. She disappears. Then he goes to lay down, and a different Kate shows up. Hubba, hubba.
Hubba, hubba, waka, waka.
Yeah, insert boy,
cha-cha-cha-cha.
Yeah.
Auga.
And she's floating down the hallway. And then he wakes up because it's a fever dream. Because, again, Kate's not real. She's a fucking hallucination. Because he's been drinking the Vimiaville vitamin drink, which you shouldn't.
You should never do.
Don't do that.
Hey guys, don't do that.
Don't. Yeah.
Cut
Vitamins,
back to,
avoid them at all costs.
do you want to be healthy? Don't be, because if you're healthy, you're gonna melt.
You know what? I might be unhealthy, but I'm not melting.
Yep.
I might be unhealthy, but my placenta did not fall out and kill a man.
I say that
That
every
is-
morning.
Yep. Every morning I wake up, I go, you know what? It's a good day if my placenta doesn't kill a man. So
Brandon walks by the front desk reception and they go, "Hey, Mr. Freeze, how's it going?" Brandon says, "Another beautiful day. Terry, my placenta didn't kill anybody."
oh, Mr. Freeze. That.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to talk to HR eventually.
Yeah, I bet you will. I bet you will.
But hey, if you do, watch your back, because things could get a little sticky.
Things can get a little placenta-y.
Placenta-y.
Gino and Sal are just hanging out with his family while Pud is, theoretically fixing their windscreen.
Wait, were we talking about the other version of Kelly floating down the hallway towards him?
Her name is Kate.
Kate,
So
whatever.
Goddamn.
None of these names matter to me.
She floats
Except for Gino Argento.
Gino Argentino.
Yes. That's the only name that matters in this
Hi,
movie.
it's me, Gino Argentino. Are you here to you're here to work at Argentino's Pizza?
On the corner
I
of
just want
4th
to
and
see that
Walmart.
training video.
And if you don't like our crust, fuck you.
And if you don't like our crust, ram it up your ass.
Good.
Well, the thing about Kate,
Okay, so
she floats down the hallway, and she does this weird belly rib massage on.
mhm.
It looks like it really hurt too.
It does. It does not look comfortable.
She's pressing on his stomach hard.
Yeah. At the most, go up to where the ribs are and massage that area, but don't. This weird poking and prodding the belly.
I just want a real
rubbing my intestines.
I just want a real deep bone massage.
Yeah. God, you know what I really want? I want a really good upper bowel massage.
My
Can you
favorite
just-
part, my favorite part of the back massage is all the attention paid to the shoulder blades.
My favorite part of this back massage is all the attention you're paying to my intestinal tract. Could you just take 2 fingers and just constantly poke into my belly button?
Just like under
Yeah.
the ribs.
Really work the hernia.
Go in and work up.
Oh, God. Now, Gino and Sal, kicking it with the fam. They're like, hey, we're getting this stuff fixed. Who cares? Let's hang out with these new people. They will soon come to find out that if you kill a kangaroo, you can eat its adrenal glands.
Mm-hmm.
Kanga.
And like I was saying in the chat, it's the guy that throws the rock at the kangaroo, right?
Yeah.
It's,
Like an inbred Australian bullseye just throws that rock and knocks that kangaroo out in one hit.
after making a very hellish noise, yes.
It's like
Yeah.
he hypnotizes or like is talking to it to get its attention.
Yeah.
And he throws a rock at it and kills it.
And kills it. They eat the adrenal glands, and Sal and Gino are like, the fuck? Interestingly, Brophy threw that in because I guess that was like some kind of slanderous myth about Australians that other people were saying is, oh, there's people just out here eating kangaroo adrenal glands. Fuck you.
Weird.
Never heard that stereotype.
I know. I
before.
was like, I've literally never heard that stereotype. I
But
wish
also-
I was known for that stereotype.
Gino and Sal are like, what the fuck? But they're not as what the fuck as they should be. I just want to
Yeah,
throw that out there. Like they're
think-
confused, but they're not running away yet.
If I was in that situation, I would definitely be like, what the fuck? But I'd be playing it real fucking cool.
Yeah, play it cool, but you're looking for a way out of there at that point.
yeah,
And they didn't
absolutely.
seem to be.
But as Sal finds out later, you could play it too cool for school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little
Poor
too
Sal.
cool there.
Poor Sal.
We jump over to the detectives, Marty and Rust, and the guy driving's like, I can't believe you eat that shit. And the other guy's like, it's fine. Oh, I'm healthy. And, you know, who cares? The detective stuff is so arbitrary. And
Yeah.
it's dumb. I mean,
Generic
it's not dumb.
cop
It's
stuff.
it's generic cop stuff. Sal and Slab cozy up to each other while Gino's decided, hey, I'm gonna go with the Wonder Twins for a little joy riding in a circle in this truck. But
Foreshadowing.
why don't you and me? Well, we steal off to the back for some kissing.
Why don't we have a row in the hay? Also, that was just British.
Yeah. British.
But it's
mine always goes British too.
It's also important to note that while they're off joyriding, at a certain point they stop, and Gino and one of the siblings kind of walk into this Texas Chainsaw Nothing But Trouble nightmare house, and that's when Gino finds a picture of Pud and this other scientist who we don't know yet, and he's like, "Oh, is this your dad?" Before he was, he's trying to not say before he was a fucking
monster.
Yeah, before he was a monster. and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't know nothing about that." Bad impression.
Uh-oh, it almost killed him.
Oh, he's dying. The impression was so bad it killed him.
Slab asks Sal if he'd like a love bite. And boy, does she give him a love bite.
Oh boy, does she.
Quite a love bite.
Just takes a chunk right out of him.
She bites
She bites his throat out like George Wendt.
Yeah.
Takes a chunk of George Wendt hide out with her teeth.
If you haven't seen the greatest George Wendt role of all time in King of the Ants, where you too can watch George Wendt do a foot chase, I highly recommend it.
It's the best.
It is
the best. That needs to be on his Oscars in memoriam.
It's not all the scenes he did with Cheers. It's him running at a zoo, or let's be real, fast walking after someone 20 years younger at a zoo in a Stuart Gordon movie.
In New Balance and cargo shorts.
It's the fucking best.
It is great.
And then this guy gets like the ultimate peg. He gets a huge wooden stake up his ass.
Oh, he does. I forgot.
He gets special guest director Lars von Trier.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because life.
God, Lars von Trier's body melt. It's a wax sculpture in the sun melting over a period of time. In real time, and then it's over. And then I go home and I contemplate why I just watched another shithole Lars von Trier movie.
You hear that, you piece of shit?
Fuck you.
I have come to realize I like one Lars von Trier movie.
House of Jack built.
Breaking the Ways.
It's Antichrist. Nick loves the house that Jack built because
I do like the house that Jack built.
Yeah, I like the end. Brandon and I watched that. Yeah, Brandon and I watched that together, and we were.
Yeah, we've talked about that on this past in like 5 episodes. We've talked about the house that Jack built.
Welcome to Von Trierers, where the music.
Welcome
for that
to the
is
Jack Cast,
where the music for our Von Trier podcast is just. Set to crying.
We'll call it the house that Whack built.
Yes. Or the house that Snooze built, because Melancholia, a movie that never stops.
I think I'm still watching it.
Right, so Sal gets hit in the dick, and Gino's still kind of investigating the house. And he walks into this room where it looks like the three-legged dog is watching porn.
Yeah.
Hardcore porn, too.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, it's like
core porn. Yeah, full-on
full
penetration.
Penny.
Full penny. Yep, oh. Nick Full Penny Rock. That's your new name.
Full Penny.
Or Full Penny. Oh, Mamma Mia.
Oh, Penny.
That was too many references in one. It was like a body melt reference, a Not Penny's boat reference, and
what?
Oh, Nick knows. Dominic
Not
Monaghan,
Penny's book.
bro.
Oh yeah.
No, I know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
I
How does
didn't. I
that
wasn't
tie
going with
into
that at all.
Penne?
Never. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize for my reaching.
It sounds like Forrest Gump saying Penny. Penne.
Penne. Oh yeah, Penne. But is this the episode where we get canceled?
Yeah, the
Penne.
internet cancels.
The internet
If
says
we could have been canceled, we would have been canceled long.
But that's
time
not
ago.
true because
Cancel.
we lost the infamous dog dick episode.
That's true.
That's a lot.
R.I.P. Dog Dick.
R.I.P. Dog Dick. The
Gino-
fourth member of this podcast, Dog Dick.
It's a little chat window with a dog spread eagle, full red rocket.
Oh man, I hated that guy.
Yeah, I'm glad he's gone. It didn't work with 4 people.
His screen always ended up looking like Vaseline was smeared across it.
Ew, Dog Dick.
That's almost as gross as windscreen.
Yeah, almost.
Almost. Not quite.
Right. Gino runs out to figure out what's going on. The sibling runs over to Pud and says, she's done and going it again, that dirt bitch. Slab comes out from the
Like
barn
a
where she's
Lenny of.
yeah, she's a big old horny Lenny. You know, that really horny book of Mice and Men.
I'm glad we got rid of that guy too, horny Lenny.
or whole horny Lenny. We used to have a whole group of people.
Yeah.
We did.
Horny Lenny would just stare at Dog Dick's little screen the entire time we were recording.
Yeah. One screen's full of like dog pre-cum and the other screen is full of just giant mentally deficient
Just a grinning moon face.
just a grinning moon face and a big old slow wang. Just
Big old
flopping
slow
around.
wang.
Yep. That's the name
That's
of
my
our
favorite. That's
the
my
name of
favorite Foghat song.
Slow wang.
No, that's our sleepy country album. Slow wang.
Slow wang.
Slow wang.
It's all
Country
three of
album
us.
from Beach Python.
It's all three of us in a triple decker hammock.
Thanks for inviting me to this open mic. We're slow wang, and we're gonna sing
Slow
you a little
wang.
bit. We sing you a little ditty that we can all relate to. It's about having a limp old dick. Look how Nick's trying to smile when he really just feels dead inside.
It's about having a limp old dick. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Soft jeans. That's the name of the album. Soft jeans.
Soft jeans.
Soft jeans.
But it's spelled
With the number 1 hit
G-E-N-E.
single, Slow Wang.
Oh, soft jeans, G-N-E-S.
Soft jeans, yep.
Yes,
with the
and the
G.
back cover art is just a bunch of guys named Gene looking sadly at their very flaccid dicks.
The cover art is just Springsteen's Born in the USA.
Oh, fuck off.
That's good. That's really good. I like that. Oh, man.
Oh. What movie are we talking about?
Who cares?
Body Melt, a movie about impotency. Anyway, Gino runs out and he's like, "Where's Sal?" And then he realizes something's happened. And in a true not friend douche move, he just takes off.
Yeah,
He
he
takes
immediately books.
Tries to steal Pud's truck, can't get it to stop going in a circle.
Uh-huh.
He crashes it.
They've
into
rigged the truck to only go in a circle.
This is
Like,
one of
that
the
is its sole purpose.
This is one of the parts that made me laugh out loud where a Pud opens the door and say, "Where do you think you're going?"
Oh, that
And
was
then
awesome.
He spins the wheel, showing it's not actually steering anything.
Yep, that rules. That's also
Nowhere
one of my
in this
favorite
truck.
scenes. No, I gotta say, the actor playing Pud kills it. He does
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
one of the things I like about the movie is as outlandish as it is, a lot of the actors act super hard.
Yeah.
Like they act like they're in a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that when you can be in a movie like this and act like you're doing a real thing.
It really adds gravitas to the movie or like a believability when the actors are into it and giving it the all. It makes it feel better.
Well, that goes back to what we always talk about on this podcast, that you can't set out to make a shitty movie. You're like, oh, I'm just shitty acting because giant flying tornado shark.
Right.
You guys know how I feel about that. And I think we're all in agreement that those types of movies are bullshit.
Yeah, they're not real movies.
I'm gonna basically skip over the cop stuff by just saying general cop stuff. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. The only scene that matters is because the detectives go to Vimeaville and they interview Sean. Who gives a shit? No one cares. And then from there, though, the one important scene is that they go to the coroner's office, and this medical examiner is a real cool dude. He's got a fucking tie-dye shirt on. Awesome. I am surprised he's not eating a giant hoagie when they walk in.
Yep.
I want to be this dude's friend.
I want to be this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy seems like he knows where to get mushrooms, and he's totally cool hooking you up.
Yeah. Totally.
Definitely.
They're taking a look at Ryan's body, which, fun fact, that was a full cast of the actor's body that they made. They did a full cast of him. Then they, filled it with all the guts later. So, just fun fact.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work.
It's a good effect.
It's a solid effect.
That's really the only reason I mentioned this scene. That, and because Jono, the medical examiner, goes, nah, man, this guy was too healthy. You know what I'm saying? He was taking some real fucked up shit. And that's really the only reason to bring.
That puts him on the trail of the drug.
The vitamins.
The vitamins. Vegemite vitamins.
Jumping back to Paul and Kate, who are now, we're back to getting sexy Kate time, and she floats in and she tells him, I've collected the ribs of 12 men, right? And you're the 13th man, excuse me. Right, why are you making this face?
No, I'm like, what? when that scene started and she opened her thing with all the ribs,
it's like a little
bag. What?
What
is this?
Hold on.
I've collected the ribs of 12 men. It's like, wait, what? Why? Where's this coming from?
She massages that rib out like you do. Sometimes you just gotta rub one out, dude.
Yeah, it's more gross than had she just reached in and pulled it out. She's just massaging, and then it rises out of his stomach.
Slowly pushes out.
Yeah.
More lazy cop work. We finally get to meet the man of the hour who created all this stuff, Dr. Carrera. And this guy's acting his ass off, you guys.
Yeah. He's really putting in the work.
Well, we meet him because he's having a meeting with Cheryl, who's the pregnant woman. Mm-hmm. We probably didn't mention at the top, there's also a pregnant couple in on People's Court. And
you don't really interact with them too much. Like, that they're there, but they don't really touch on them much.
Not
the first big chunk of the movie.
It's a little vignette.
Yeah. And basically she's like, hey, I'm having these weird things going on. How am I doing? She leaves. He calls Shan and says, hey, I think we need to decrease what we're giving her because this is not working correctly. Mm-hmm. And Shan is kind of like, typical.
He's kind of saying, we need to, the drug isn't working properly, so we need to step it back. And she's like, well, no, there's an experiment going on. We got to go forward.
Yeah. You can't stop now.
And
we're already too far into it. Just keep going.
She hangs up on Dr. Carrera, tells this super yoked up dude named Beauville, hey, we're going through. This guy is like, well, isn't that Dr. Carrera's job? And she's like, just do what I fucking say. This guy's yoked.
You literally can't get your voice high enough for this guy.
Oh.
Like, I think it's a dub over of a woman doing a high-pitched voice for this character.
Yeah, it's definitely a woman doing the voice. I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah, for reasons.
He's like built like a Rob Liefeld drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
Yes,
he is.
he
He is built like a Rob Liefeld drawing.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
He goes off to defy Dr. Carrera's orders. Dr. Carrera gets a phone call, who we find out is from Pud, who calls him Crackers. And Pud tells him, hey, I'm here anytime you want to come by. See you later. Ooh.
See her.
He's like, oh, no, because he says, I got one of your boys that was supposed to go in for the...
Oh, yeah.
Because he finds out that the sperm donation thing is related to the Vitaville whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Pud calls the doctor. He's like, hey, buddy, I got one of your boys.
Meanwhile...
he's kind of
see
pissed off that it's not both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because this is like... You're led to believe that this is a thing Dr. Carrera has been doing for a while. And, you know, now it's all kind of fallen apart. And it's annoying because this is probably his life's work.
Right.
Mm.
Cheryl gets spooked by Paul, who's leering into her fucking window like a weirdo with a melty nose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes to be a sign of the very early signs of you're about to get a body melt.
Yeah,
your nose leaking.
You're real snotty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your snot
Snotty
is sentient.
nose was a good indicator for...
Sentient
body
snot later in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty gross. Pretty gross.
Cheryl's placenta drops literally out of her. She calls Dr. Carrera like, can this happen? And he says,
This normal?
no, I'm on my way. He calls her husband, says, you should get to this house. I am on my way. But it's too late. And I don't know where her husband works, but he shows up pretty fast. Did he work 2 houses down?
He was mowing a lawn.
Might have.
Yeah, because he shows up, gets killed by her placenta. Or,
Repeat that.
No, not killed, sorry. He
Repeat
shows up.
that.
No.
He doesn't get
Shows
killed, I'm
up,
mistaken.
Gets killed by his placenta.
Well, he doesn't, though. And I got confused when I was watching this movie. It chokes him out.
Right.
It chokes him out. And then, I don't know what the fuck happens with her, but her gut opens.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like Birth of the Fog Machine or something, because it's just steam and ribbons coming out.
Yeah.
So she's like an overcooked turkey. She just splits open and...
Yeah.
Yeah. But with nothing in it. There's like some guts in there, but it really looks like they put a fan underneath the effect to blow it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, am I the only one that finds it kind of stranger that the placenta didn't kill him? But just choked him out
it looks
and then
like,
moved on?
Well, it looks
that
like
seems
it killed
weirder
him.
to me.
Well, it looks like it killed him
like
until
it did,
later
but it
in the
didn't.
movie, because I thought he was dead.
Right.
And when we get to the final scene of the movie, I had to think it wasn't until I saw
Well, no,
his
because at the end of
shirt.
that scene, they show him in the back of the cop car.
Yeah.
Oh,
After
okay.
the placenta scene, they show him in the
I
back of
missed
the
it.
cop car, and he's
Okay.
all like,
Yeah, he's kind of shell-shocked.
out of it.
I mean, I'd be shell-shocked
Yeah.
too if I got choked out by a placenta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a weird day, bro.
It's been kind of a tense day. Cut me some slack.
Detectives do their detectives crap. They question Dr. Carrera because he shows up at the same time. He's too late, and the cops are there.
Mhm.
And then he moves on from there to go to Paul Matthews' place, right? And he's kind of like searching through his house. He's got his syringe.
His reanimator syringe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he tries to get Matthews, who turns around, his face is melting off. It's a really cool effect. It's like the face is being pushed
Yeah.
off of the skull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting looking.
He tries to inject him. At the same time, Matthews is crushing his head, so he injects him into his palm, which I guess worked because Carrera escapes.
Mhm.
And now we get to what would be one of the piece de resistances of this movie, which is this fucking kid on rollerblades.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking kid.
Oh, yeah.
Introducing the the Noble family vignette, which are your generic suburban family. They get invited to the Vimbierville. I don't know. It's kind of like a timeshare thing, right? Where they're like, "Hey, come do our thing and try all this stuff and listen to this bullshit."
Mm-hmm.
So
They get like free meals and exercise equipment and spot.
Yeah. And they're all eaten up, but Brandon, the cool kid, he's like, all right, well, losers, I'll see you later. I'm going to go rollerblade. Meanwhile, back at Paul Matthews' house, Russ and Marty show up again, and they're like, hey, Marty, you ever see an ear palm? And they move Paul Matthews' hand, and there's an ear growing out of the palm, which is interesting because they don't really explore this later on, that you're grafting other body parts, but I'm assuming it's because Dr. Carrera injected him in the hand, and that serum just made his cellular kind of the DNA go wild, and he grew the ear on his hand for whatever reason.
Kind of like when tumors have
I thought
hair and teeth.
he ripped out Carrera's ear, didn't he?
Did he? Oh,
No, it was attached.
Yeah, because later Carrera has a huge bandage around his head. He was grabbing his head, and then he injected the hand, and he ripped Carrera's ear off.
And then I guess that grafts the
in
ear
his
onto
hand.
the palm. Well, because that is on there. It's not just in his hand. It's on there. Yeah.
I don't know, then. It's definitely Carrera's ear, though, because he has that huge head bandage in the next scene. I don't know.
All right. Well,
You know what? Let's stop down and watch the movie again. We'll come back.
We'll come back. Shan does some shitty villain stuff where she's pushing the people harder to move the Vimiaville stuff. She wants to make sure that the nobles are getting more just to see how it affects them. For whatever reason, the cops tell the police department, hey, we need a chopper now. So they get a chopper.
Because why not?
Shan.
If I was a cop and I could just get a chopper,
that's all I'd ever do.
I would always have a chopper.
Around in a chopper. Shan has an assistant
fly around everywhere
named Demetra, who she kind of tasks with taking care of the noble family, but she's too busy fucking these bodybuilders to give a shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
She pieces out on one who's like, "Come on, babe, but what am I doing? What am I gonna jack myself off?" Which, well,
yes,
that was just 100% New York. There was no Australian in there.
Yeah.
Hey,
he starts
gonna take care of itself.
This bodybuilder starts watching porn, and his dick explodes.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It sure does.
Sure does.
It sure does.
Meanwhile, Dr. Carrera's running around the city like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to figure out how he can fix this, which is why he goes to PUDS. And this is where we learn that the entire time, this has been PUD's master plan, right? That he's held the secret of this additive that you actually need to make all the stuff that they've been selling at Vimiaville work properly. But without the additive, that shit just goes rampant, which is why you melt.
Without that additive, you melt like a motherfucker.
Yep.
Honestly, this scene is too well written and too serious for this movie.
It's, the movie around this scene is not worthy of this scene.
It's like the Dennis Hopper Christopher Walken scene in True Romance.
Yes. Yep. It really is. It really is. And these two guys are like veteran character actors, and they are acting the shit out of this scene. It's perfect
choice.
And
it's good.
When Dr. Carrera drives off, he says, "You and your megapods."
Yeah.
And then it's just intelligible Australian screaming after that.
I'm 90% sure he calls him Bob Geldof.
Yeah, I think you're right. Should I know who that is?
He was in the Boomtown Rats. He was in
I know the
Pink
name.
Floyd's The Wall.
Okay.
That's where I know him from.
Have you heard of the song I Don't Like Mondays?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No, you haven't.
Well, maybe that's why they start yelling into the power machine. Because that's what they're yelling when they start singing. They start singing this song, him and his two kids. They start screaming this song.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is then. I'm going to look into that.
Smash cut to the Vimiaville hangout. The head of the noble family's melting. His wife, good. His wife.
No, I was
like,
just agreeing.
Yeah. She's melting. The bodybuilder and Demetra are trying to have sex. He melts, kinda. He doesn't really melt, but he chokes her to death while they're having sex. And then his back splits open.
Yeah, it was kind of a weak one.
Yeah, it was pretty lame. It was lame.
He had a lot of meat on him. There should have been a lot of melt to that.
Yeah,
or a big explosion.
A lot of splatter on those walls.
That scene needed a super crack level explosion, I feel like.
Yeah.
Shan is starting to like get woozy. She can't see straight. And this is kind of where the movie, I clocked it, and it had 15 minutes left. And this is where you can kind of feel like the filmmakers were like, we got to wrap this up because all the things start happening at once. Shan starts melting. The nobles start melting. Mr. Noble has an undignified death, turning into a melted cheese and milk puddle on the bathroom floor.
Yep.
Yep. His was particularly foamy.
That kid's death is brutal. the rollerblader.
The rollerblade accident.
God. We totally skipped over that. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. I am so sorry. Brandon, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
He's like, little kid rollerblade death? I absolutely want to take this one.
Yeah, of course. So this kid's like, you guys are lame. I'm going to go shred the gnar on this quarter pipe. And he goes out there and he's just ripping at this quarter pipe. He's just doing a bunch of tricks, a bunch of flips, and he trips and he smashes his face open on the floor, and it turns him into like a blood skeleton.
Yeah.
He's instantly like, his eyes are gone and all his teeth are showing. And it's pretty brutal.
He looks like a proto Tarman, or I forget the character's name in The Prince of Darkness. It's funny because they shot that scene in the rain, so they built that skate ramp, and then it started pouring rain, so they had to shoot in between rains. It was so funny because they're standing there.
That's why the kid wrecked.
Well, it's funny because there's the kid and then there's the stunt kid that they got to do the rollerblading tricks, and he looks 16. It's ridiculous.
It was just a kid saying, "Sure, I'll do that."
Yeah, what the hell? I'll do that. I like right before he goes down for that final flip, he says something like, "This is gonna be the fucking best," and then he face plants. And I have it in my notes somewhere, but I was like, "Is this the Vimeaville, or is this just because he fucking face planted on the half pipe?"
I didn't know because, like, yes, he smashes his head, but it also like melts his face into a skeleton. So maybe that wasn't really clear.
Oh,
cooler scene. I remember the scene differently. I remember it cutting away and then cutting back, and he was all like fucked up. But maybe I was like tuned out at that point.
No, he does the flip. It cuts away. The next shot after the scene that comes after the one where he flips is him just laying there with his face melted off. And then the scene after that later is his parents being like, "Oh, he's fine. He's just, he's out there camping, looking at the stars."
Out there somewhere. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like,
So his death was long, right?
Oh, yeah. He was out there for hours, melting and dying.
Agony.
And awake for it all.
Yes.
And awake for it all.
Yes.
The mother and the daughter of the noble family, they're like, something is fucking wrong. Fuck this. Because the daughter runs in to find Shan melting. She turns into a puddle at her desk. The mother and daughter take off. They go to a private practitioner. They basically grab the doctor and like, "No, you don't understand. You need to help us. They're poisoning us with some type of chemical. What is going on? We've been living over at this place." And he says, "At the old chemical dump?" Which I thought was kind of
like that toxic waste place. Yeah.
It's like the old quarry. Well, that hasn't been there for 50 years.
And now you're gonna throw up pink and green goo. The mom's tongue starts to swell. And it's a pretty cool effect.
Man, This is one of the more brutal deaths as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
She just chokes on a giant swollen tongue.
Yeah, it's very very Brian Yuzna-y, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
It was very Yuzna.
Lots of slime.
Does the daughter die? I can't remember. She does, right?
I don't think so. Does she? I thought she lived. I thought she was the only one that lived. From the neighborhood, anyway.
I think she is. I don't think they address it because the next scene is Dr. Carrera pointing a gun at a melted Shan. It's pretty funny. It's the most Shakespearean moment of the movie because, if I may, Dr. Carrera says, the human body, at best, a neglected engine running on cheap fuel.
That is molasses. That is smooth.
I was like, damn, that's a hot line for a movie called Body Melt. And then the
silky dialogue.
And the bumbling doofus detectives show up and then go, looks like you're running on empty, and totally ruin it.
Yep.
No.
He gives them a
He's
spiel.
like, I was fucking having a moment, and you guys had to come in here and fuck it all up.
He gives them a spiel, shoots his hand to prove to, I don't know, that he's kind of indestructible, but then he shoots himself, right? He puts the gun under his chin, and then we smash cut.
Yep. To police station.
Not yet. We smash cut to the Vimeaville being mass produced.
Right.
And then it's the police station. And because I think this movie is so kind of focused on whatever it's doing in that moment that I totally forgot that this guy was taken away by the cops in the back of the car.
Yeah, the husband.
Yeah. It took me a second to realize who this was.
And he's basically vomiting all over the police station, just shooting fucking buckets of slime.
And he's kind of in an interrogation room, and he's just kind of frozen there. And they're like, "What the fuck is gonna happen?" Like he's gonna explode.
Yeah.
That's when we get
his was like the body meltiest death.
Yeah, but it's almost like a really weak edging finish because you're like, yeah, this dude's face is gonna explode, and then it doesn't.
No.
And you're like,
no, it just kind of inflates and he falls over. It's like, oh, all right, I guess.
Then Rust and Marty go to the gas station one final time. The clerk asks them, "Oh, whatever happened to that other guy?" And they're like, could you just give me, gas? We just want petrol."
Hey, why don't you shut the fuck up and pump my gas?
Yeah. The camera does a reverse Evil Dead and stops on the Vimeaville vitamins that are now on sale on the shelf. So we're led to believe that despite I don't know the best efforts, but some efforts, that everyone's fucked now.
Yep. Classic horror movie ending where no matter what you did, everything's fucked.
And that is
everybody's gonna die.
Body melt.
Body melt. I did when I was looking at this because this is on Amazon Prime. I looked for about 45 minutes looking for Biomelt, and I was getting very frustrated not being able to find the movie I was looking for.
I guess I didn't realize that you were serious when you said this Biomelt is about. I thought you were like cracking wise. If I had known you legitimately had the wrong name of movie, I would have told you.
That was after the fact.
Oh, okay. That was a joke to yourself in our group
that was
chat.
just a little fun thing for me.
So moving, yeah, I thought it was a joke too. So moving forward, we're not going to do the whole why is it obscure thing anymore, we don't think, right?
Because who gives a fuck?
Because it's always the same answer. It's always the same answer.
Because it's fucking weird.
Because it's weird.
Because it's weird or because it's bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Or both.
So we're skipping that. We're not doing that anymore. I just want to know, did you like it and would you recommend it? And I'm going to go Brandon.
That gets a hearty yes, queen, and a hearty yes, queen. I had a lot of fun with this, and I'd give it 4 pasties out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is me, Brandon Talking Pie Freeze, with your body melt report, heading right over to Anthony.
Freshly baked, bitch.
Freshly baked bitch.
Yeah. I am also I'm gonna second Brandon's recommendation. When I saw this, I was like, holy shit. We have to resurrect the podcast and we have to talk about Body Melt. It's cool.
We have to have lightning strike the grave of this podcast and resurrect it like Jason.
At the bottom, yes. Chained to the bottom of Crystal Lake. I had a ton of fun. The first time I watched it, I didn't know what to expect. So everything was a fun surprise. The effects are solid. And it's a movie that you go into to have fun. If you're looking at this from the lens of very serious cinema, you're an asshole and don't watch it because you're not going to enjoy it.
You don't deserve it.
Yeah, you don't deserve it. I loved it.
You don't deserve to have body melt in your life.
That's a hearty recommend from Anthony. Down there to Nick.
Yeah, liked it. I would recommend it. I watched this movie back in the day, probably like 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that, when we were really into our first wave of getting into movies. And I appreciated it at the time, but for some reason I saw it once and then just never thought about it again. Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned it the other day, I guess it was a couple weeks ago.
Like a month ago.
And you mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, that fucking movie. That's a good movie. Why did I never watch that again? And then I watched it for this, and I'm like, why did I never watch that again? This was good.
Yeah.
Good effects. Like, it's fun. It's gross, but not in an uncomfortable or unsettling way. It's just, it's fun gross. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun. Yes.
That is a round the table unanimous yes. All right. What are we doing next time?
Next week, we'll be looking at Operation Endgame.
A movie I've never heard of.
Endgame.
It's
it's an
operation about an endgame.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It'll be good. It'll be fun.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning into our rebooted, very perfect
and professional resurrection
of the Real Obscure podcast. Everybody wish Nick good luck editing this one.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good night.
The sound was a nightmare.